everyone, my name's Emma and this is my colleague Ash. We both work for UniSA, supporting future students with their career pathways and study options. Here at UniSA, we have a strong commitment to equity and access, and we believe that everyone should have equal opportunity for further education. So whether you've studied at university previously or perhaps at TAFE, or maybe you have never studied before, there is a pathway opportunity available for everyone.
In this presentation, we'll be going through all of the different options available. Please note we will be focusing on pathways for Australian students, so if you're an international student, head to the International Students booth for pathways and application information.
So as you can see, there are a whole range of entry pathways available, and it's really important for you to have a look at all of them to make sure you know which is going to be best for you personally. Ash will be covering pathways through UniSA College, including our foundation studies, diploma programs, and our Aboriginal Pathway program, and I will be going through some of the other options available. For those of you in Year 12 this year, it's likely that you will be applying for university using your selection rank, which is your ATAR, including any adjustment factors that you might be eligible for. Your selection rank might meet the guaranteed entry for a particular degree, but if not, you will still be considered for what we call competitive entry. So what this means is that when there are more applicants than places available in a particular degree, offers are made in descending order of selection rank, and the lowest selection rank that receives an offer is called the cut-off score. And this can change slightly from year to year depending on the number of people that apply compared to the places that are available. For some UniSA degrees, students who do not have the required selection rank may be selected for any remaining places based on the grades that they achieve in their Year 12 subjects. We call this selection by grades, and to be eligible for this pathway, you do need to achieve an ATAR of 50 or higher, have completed your SACE before any adjustment factors. Head to our Selection by Grades website for some further information there. It's always a great idea to fill up your SATAC application with as many backup preferences as possible, such as UniSA College programs, and we'll go through a few examples of how to do this a little bit later in the presentation. For those of you who might have also completed Year 12 some time ago, you might also be able to still use these results to apply. As long as you have not completed more than 2 years of full-time university study, your Year 12 results are actually still valid for entry. If you have completed more than 2 years of full-time study, your entry into university will be based on your grade point average that you achieved throughout those 2 years of study. So other than using Year 12 results, there are a few other options that you might want to consider as well. So we're going to go through these three in a little bit more detail, which is the Special Tertiary Admissions Test, also known as the STAT, using TAFE or other registered training organisation qualifications, and also tertiary transfer, so using your grade point average from previous uni study. So the STAT is a 70-question multiple choice test, and this assesses your literacy, numeracy, problem solving and critical thinking skills. Now this test is conducted by SATAC, so you do need to indicate this as part of your SATAC application if you're wanting to sit this test. There are some additional fees that apply, and there's also an age requirement, so you must be over 18 by the 1st of February in the year that you wish to commence studying. In terms of other pathways, if you've completed a certificate 4 or higher through TAFE or another registered training organisation, you may be able to use this for direct entry into many UniSA degrees. Sometimes it might also meet guaranteed entry requirements. If you have studied something in a relevant area, you might also be eligible for some credit. So this is something that you can apply for once you have received an offer into that particular degree. And in terms of tertiary transfer, if you have studied at university before, once you complete more than 6 months of full-time study or 18 units, you will generate something called a grade point average. So if you already have a grade point average, you can actually apply direct through SATAC and you might be eligible to receive an offer if your GPA is competitive enough. And again, if you have studied something in a similar field, you might also be eligible to apply for some credit. Another way that you might use a tertiary transfer is if you miss out on your first preference, but you receive an offer into one of your lower preferences. So you might wish to start studying in that degree, work really hard to get a competitive grade point average, and then you can reapply into your first preference using a tertiary transfer. Some degrees will let you do this halfway through the year as a form of mid-year entry. Other times you will need to wait until the end of the year to apply for the following year. So now I'm going to head over to Ash, who's going to take you through some pathway options through UniSA College.
Thanks, Emma. The first dot point I wanted to touch on is what UniSA College is. Our main purpose is for our programs to provide pathways that enable you to gain access into undergraduate degrees. So the courses you would undertake as a college student are really designed to prepare you for university. Essentially, it's a place for you to build on your studying skills and your overall confidence. University is a very big jump for high school students and also those returning to study after a period of time. We offer 3 programs at the college, including 7 diplomas, our foundation studies, and the Aboriginal Pathway program. I will touch on these as we progress through the presentation. Something to also note is that UniSA College is for domestic students here in Australia. So let's start with one of our larger programs, our diplomas. Before highlighting the key features, I thought it was important to explain the timeline. The idea behind the diplomas is that in the first year, you study core courses with us at the college, which equips you for further study. You will also be able to select specific subjects which relate to the area of interest. For example, health, business, science or arts courses. Then you will transition directly into an undergraduate degree in this second year of your diploma. In this second year, you will be an undergraduate student and study undergraduate courses with additional support from the college. This is something that you can access at any time. Finally, you'll move into the final years of your undergraduate degree. Our diploma programs are offered in a variety of different areas of the university, as you can see here. The key part of this slide is to look across the top there and see the 7 diplomas that we offer at UniSA College. So we have our diploma in arts, business, health, construction, engineering, information technology, and science and the environment. These last 4 are our most recent addition to this suite. Formerly the diploma in science and technology, we saw a need to flesh these out to these specific areas. So now that you understand how our diploma timeline actually works, I'll touch on a few key take-home points worth noting. As I mentioned earlier, the diploma runs over 2 years, that first year being completed at UniSA College and having a similar format to our Foundation Studies program, picking up courses which helps you to be a successful student, but also giving you the discipline knowledge of the area you're studying in, before moving into an undergraduate degree in the second year. During that second year, and as I mentioned, you still have the support from the college to help you transition into that undergraduate environment. We have a dedicated transition officer at the college who will work with you to give you the best chance of transferring into your desired degree using your GPA. The entry requirement for our diplomas are a minimum ATAR of 50 or a Cert 3 or 4, and you can apply via SATAC, which Emma will talk you through later in the presentation. The final thing to note about our diplomas is that they now link directly to UniSA Online. If studying online is something you might be interested in, you can look at this table here, which gives you a nice summary of which diplomas link to the online degrees. As you can see, college diplomas are on the left and online degrees are on the right. Let's now move on to our largest course at the college, Foundation Studies. The key difference between Foundation Studies and diplomas is that you do not need to bring any qualifications to access Foundation Studies. So, for example, you might be a student who has completed school but doesn't have a competitive ATAR. You might not have an ATAR at all. You may be a refugee who's come to Australia without a higher education certificate or an ATAR from a school here in Adelaide. Or you could be a mature age student who finished school a long time ago and looking for a career change. However, something to note is that applicants who have not completed SACE or a Cert 3 must be 18 years old at the commencement of their study. This program is also offered to domestic students only. It is a 1-year program consisting of 8 courses taught over 12 months, noting that you can study part-time and there are also online options available. Like our diplomas, the Foundation Study's main purpose is to prepare you for further undergraduate study. You will have to use your competitive GPA to secure your place in an undergraduate degree. And like the diplomas, you will apply via SATAC. However, once you complete the program, there is a seamless transition from Foundation Studies to undergraduate study, and that's through that transition officer I mentioned earlier. This program is fee-free, however, there will be a slight student amenities fee of approximately $308 for the year. One last thing to note is that the program is offered regionally in Mount Gambier and also Whyalla. The final program I wanted to talk about is our youngest program, the Aboriginal Pathway Program. The Aboriginal Pathway Program is not too dissimilar to the Foundation Studies in that it's preparing students for future degrees, is GPA dependent, and only requires that student amenities fee I mentioned earlier. The actual program is modelled on Foundation Studies with slight variations. For example, the Aboriginal Pathway Program offers a land management course, Aboriginal knowledges, learning and culture, which are unique to the program. The difference is that it is a 9-course program offered over 18 months, and students must identify as Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander. Applicants who have not completed SACE or a Cert 3 must be 17 years of age before January 1st of the year of intended enrolment. Something I also wanted to highlight was the small class sizes, which means more one-on-one support for our students. Students can apply for the Aboriginal Pathway Program direct at our website, and you can see the link on the slide there. It is offered in a number of locations across the state, including Ceduna, Port Lincoln, Whyalla, Mount Gambier, and also here in Adelaide. What's really unique and something we pride ourselves on at the college is our student support. We really are passionate about making our students as successful as possible, and we want to see you succeed and do really well as you continue on your journey. Because of that, we have a full suite of support programs we offer running parallel to your study with us at the college. So we have our enrolment sessions, which is the first point of call and helps you to enrol into your courses, and we also have things like our academic consultations where we have a student on hand to answer any questions you might have about any of your assignments. I wanted to end on a student testimonial. A fantastic success story coming out of the college is former Foundation Studies student Ben Van Logham. So Ben wasn't the grade A student going through high school and decided to become a landscaper, probably not his first preference, but it was convenient at the time. Before long, he realised he wanted a challenge, so decided to enrol at the college, completing Foundation Studies. He went on to complete a Master of Architecture and now works as a full-time architect at a successful Adelaide firm. You can listen to Ben's full story at the college booth, where you'll find his video testimonial, along with some other college success stories. I'll hand back to Emma now, who can summarise a few more key bits of information and wrap the presentation up.
Awesome, thanks Ash. So just to finish off, we wanted to go through some advice about how you can order your preferences in your SATAC application. This is something that we do get quite a few questions about. So for this example here, we've used the Bachelor of Physiotherapy, as this is a highly competitive degree at UniSA. Normally the selection rank required is in the high 90s. So how you might choose to order your preferences and really make the most of the 6 SATAC preferences that you get in your application. For example, you might list something like human movement, health science, public health, or exercise and sports science as some lower backup preferences, as these cover some similar content in the first year of study. So if you miss out on direct entry into the Bachelor of Physiotherapy, you might be successful at getting a place in one of your lower preferences. You can start studying in that degree, work really hard to get your competitive GPA up, and the good thing is you will be doing some similar subjects in that first year as well. So you can open up opportunities to apply for a tertiary transfer after perhaps a year of study, and you also have the option for postgraduate study down the track, perhaps going into the Masters of Physiotherapy. In terms of your lower preferences in your SATAC application, this is where UniSA college programs are a really great option. So you can see here, preference number 5, this student has put in the Diploma in Health, which is a great option as this is a guaranteed link into the degrees such as human movement and exercise and sports science. And then the last preference, they have used foundation studies, which Ash has mentioned has no ATAR requirements, so it is a really good one to put in at the bottom of your SATAC application. Another example here, we've used the Bachelor of Psychology, so another fairly competitive degree at UniSA, and there are a lot of backup options that we can suggest for psychology. We have cognitive neuroscience, also counselling and interpersonal skills, which are other specialisations in psychology that might perhaps have a lower selection rank cutoff for entry. So you can order your preferences in this way, where you're really giving yourself the best chance possible to end up in that Bachelor of Psychology honours if that's your dream. You can also choose to list something like the Diploma in Arts as a lower preference, as this again is a linked pathway to many of our psychology degrees. So just an overview of your timelines for those of you who are looking to apply to study next year in 2021. The applications via SATAC will open on August the 3rd. So this is where you can go in and start your SATAC application. You do have until the 30th of September before you are hit with a late fee. So make sure that you do submit something to SATAC if you're interested in studying next year, keeping in mind that you can go back in at any time to change the preferences in your application, but please submit something before the 30th of September to avoid paying any late fees. Once your Year 12 results are released, if you are in Year 12, this will happen around mid-December, and definitely feel free to give us a call at this time. We can chat through different pathway options with you if perhaps the results aren't what you were expecting. You do still have time after this to go back into your SATAC application and finalise the order of your preferences. So the 7th of January in 2021 is the change of preference deadline, so making sure you're happy with the order of your preferences at midnight on that date. And then the main January offer round will be sent out on the 15th of January. So keep an eye on your emails at that time. Hopefully that's a really exciting time for you where you do receive an offer from SATAC. And again, feel free to give us a call if you have any questions about how to respond to your offer. And the last step is starting your classes. So this starts on the 1st of March in 2021. And as Ash mentioned, if you are starting through UniSA College, there's a lot of support services around enrolment, and the same for all other UniSA students as well in terms of orientation and really getting to know your way around the campus. So we hope you found this presentation helpful and you're feeling a bit more confident about pathway options available for entry into UniSA. If you do have any questions along the way, feel free to contact our Future Student Inquiries team. They're always here to help. But on behalf of myself and Ash, we wish you all the best with your application and we look forward to seeing you at UniSA in 2021.
Thanks everyone.
Guys. Bye.